What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of What the Game Means to Me. Soccer. I did Falcons earlier. Atlanta Hawks fly through edition. Got my guys, the Hoopers, with me today. How y'all doing, fellas?
Good, man. How you feeling?
Pretty good, pretty good. Glad to have you guys on again for another episode. Talk some Hawks ball. People out there watching. Hopefully, you just got home if you're in Georgia from voting. Hopefully we get Ossoff and Ralphie Warnock in office. But very important, very important. But like I said, we'll talk some Hawks ball today. I know probably a little bit disappointed from last night. Chris LeBron, our prayers off the ball. They right now got one up on us, unfortunately. Man, it's been crazy. I honestly didn't think I did not like Knicks fans that much until like the season started. Like all I see, we were talking about it yesterday, all I see on my timeline is Knicks. Even when I was driving home last night, like trying to catch up on the game just to see what's going on before I got home, like on Bleacher Report, they got this little chat, right?
Yeah.
All Knicks fans, like no Hawks people saying nothing. All Knicks people. I'm like, wow, I can't even look in the live to like get updates on the game. I just had to wait till I got home. So I guess real quick before we get into everything, since that's fresh on our mind, just I guess overall reaction and thoughts of last night's game and us losing another 15-point lead.
I'm not gonna lie, when they got up 15, I kind of figured Deandre and Reddish would just take over defensively like they have been doing and kind of close it right there.
Yeah.
The Knicks kind of just started walking the lead down bucket by bucket. Julius Randle and RJ Barrett for the most part. We just couldn't get a stop at the end of the third quarter or the fourth quarter when we lost the lead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was tough to get a stop in the second half. That's something we're gonna have to look young team growing pains. Getting them second half stops and having that consistency better turn it on night to night. We challenged Brooklyn the first night, almost beat them, then you beat them the second night. And you come back and you let two good leads go, so growing pains of a young team.
I feel it. Yeah, that's what I figured. I basically was just upset. I'm like, they over a Falconing right now. Like literally both games, back-to-back games, like them back-to-back weeks, just blowing leads.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously we know in the NBA, no lead is safe at all. Especially like a 15-point lead, like you said, we've seen teams cut that down in a matter of 2 minutes or less. So,
right.
Like you just said, it's probably just growing pains of a young team overall. But first thing I want to get into, I guess I'm more on a lighter note. We did start off 4-0. We are only 7 games through a 72-game season, but I wanted to get you guys' take on what you think, just how they've looked, thoughts on their first 7 games, what you've seen, what you've liked, all that.
Yeah, early season, definitely like the offense. We definitely have one of the best offenses in the NBA, and everyone the Hawks have still missed Gallinari. I think Rondo's played one or 2 games.
Yeah.
So not full force, but I've definitely liked the offense early season, and individually I like offensively some of the strides Trey has made, and defensively, as he said, with DeAndre Hunter and Cam, they've been standouts for me on defense. I just need Cam to get a little bit more consistent on offense, but I think it'll catch up to him eventually. But offense and Trae Young have been 2 things that have kind of stood out to me through the first 7 games.
Yeah. Definitely the offense. I said DeAndre Hunter's been standing out to me. I was not expecting this big of a leap from him offensively. I kind of figured he'd find his spots, but taking people off the dribble, knocking down wide open threes. He's looking real good offensively and defensively.
I think he need more shots. He should get more shots.
Yeah, he should definitely get more shots. Other than that, Trey, he's showing a little growth. I don't necessarily like how he draw fouls, but he draws fouls. He's already figured that out easily. Like he gets to the line. And the fact that he's a good shooter is going to help him with that as well. But he's been taking better shots this year too. Like his field goal percentage is up a little bit from where it was at this point last year, just throughout the whole season. But their offense looks great though. I think we all kind of figured that with pieces they brought in and everybody being a year older.
Of course. Yeah, same thing what you just said. I kind of almost thought it was gonna be flipped. Like I thought Cam Reddish's offense earlier on was gonna start taking off, and then Deandre's defense was gonna elevate even a little bit even more than last year. Because I guess kind of for me, well, they both like were playing solid defense last year, but both their offense kind of struggled. But I think Cam had like a little bit better on-ball defense last year, but I just thought it was gonna kind of flip. And like you just said, like Deandre's offense is taking off. Like we saw the first 4 preseason games. Like we saw the promise. We saw it was there. He was looking more comfortable. Talking about he got more confidence. He knew he was gonna. He can get to the basket. Nah, you all good. He was saying that he can get to the basket and everything. But like you said, like these first 7 games, it's shown. Like I think he's eclipsed. I think 20 points probably every game besides maybe like 1.
Yeah, I think
if he has 1, maybe 2. But yeah, he's putting up solid numbers. And I think he looks real comfortable just coming off the pick and roll. He knows to put his head down and just get to the basket.
Right.
And he's doing a good job of controlling his body when he goes up too to finish those layups. So
yeah, John and Trey have been. I think they're 5th in duo scoring so far this year. So they picked back up kind of their chemistry, which is they're taking it to the next level. Yeah, that's been a good sight.
Oh man, got Perez in here talking about Knicks tape.
Right. It's not. Y'all can talk Knicks tomorrow. We talking Hawks right now.
Exactly. It's a Hawks show. I was gonna put the link in the comment. Maybe have him hop on. Give him his little rah or whatever. But like you just said, I saw it earlier. They said they're gonna talk Knicks tomorrow, so y'all can have tomorrow. Today's about us. So. Yeah, man, but like y'all just said, I'm seeing good things through the first 7 games, but there's also a few other things, that they got to correct. I think we kind of hit on it already a little bit. But if there is at all any of your favorite players to watch so far on this team, I know we talked a little bit about Trey's improved offensively. He sees there's guys around him that can hit shots now, so he can distribute the ball a little bit better. We just talked about Deandre. He's extreme leap of offense as well. But is there any other guys that's sticking out to you guys so far?
Little brother Bogey, he's been great for that second unit, like especially when they go without a point guard. Him and Kevin Huerter keep the offense moving. I know John Collins and Trey already got that chemistry. I like Trey and Clint Capella too, though. Like
I like that too.
That's a good one. Like they gonna kill teams all year because of just those 3 players alone.
Yeah, for sure. I've liked in the little that he's played. I've liked Rondo out there. He's just fun to watch how he moves the ball, the passes he makes.
Yeah,
kind of he's doing exactly what I expect him to do with this team, the direction and how he leads them. And honestly, I've liked, we said Drake Hunter, but I've liked him in his development, and I actually, like I say, I want to see him take a few more shots per game as it's coming along. So it's no rush for him to do it. But the better he is, the better the Hawks will be, in my opinion, because that wing position is so important in the NBA.
Yeah.
So he really unlocks a lot more for the Hawks. So I've liked those two, without saying the obvious of like Trey or John Collins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, ones outside the main ones.
Yeah.
But Chris, I forgot another funny moment. I forgot I made a bet with him last night. I was, whoever's team lost would have had to make a TikTok wearing that team's jersey. I actually have a John Starks jersey from like 5-6 years old. My dad's a Knicks fan, so I've had that forever. It's so I made a bet. I said if they win, I'll put that on and say go Knicks or whatever. So it's coming, Perez. I'll get it up after our show. Like I said, it's Hawks moment right now though. We gotta focus on what's going on in the A right now. So we'll save that for later. But also, we talked a little bit about Bogey. I wanted to ask y'all because I think it was either the first 2 games. I think he kind of started, but then they made the switch to Reddish and Cam. Yeah, not Reddish and Cam, my fault. Reddish and Hunter. So do y'all think that, I guess, that lineup, do you like that starting lineup, or do you feel Bogey should be seeing more minutes, or he should start the game off, have Cam kind of be that point facilitator in the second unit? What do you guys kind of think about that?
I like Cam starting because just defensively, I think he fits better next to Trey than having maybe Deandre in the starting lineup. I feel like maybe that's kind of why he starts, and then to keep having that flow of offense in the second unit. And he also gets to handle the ball a little more with the second unit. He makes smart decisions offensively, especially as Cam's offense is trying to come along. So I actually like Cam in the starting lineup. I was surprised that Bogdanovich didn't start at first, but I always liked him in the second unit, even going into preseason.
Yeah,
definitely. I like it. I like because he puts size out there with Trey, who's they can now kind of hide on defense with so many tall, like Cam 6'8", Deandre Hunter 6'9", John Collins, Clay Capella 6'10", 7 feet. So it doesn't take away the defensive liability that Trey is, but now you can kind of hide him where he can when his defensive IQ starts to grow, he'll start getting those off ball threes and just tipping passes, forcing turnovers that way. So I definitely like the lineup. We're going with Cam and DeAndre Hunter at the 2 and the 3.
Yeah,
and it keeps helping your young players grow too. They're playing winning basketball this year, so it doesn't mind. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have them out there.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, that makes sense because, like you said, you don't want to just like bring in these guys, even though Gallo's hurt, Gallo, Bogdan, Chris Dunn whenever he's able to come back. I know he's coming off surgery. All these guys in and kind of give them those minutes and not allow their confidence to build and them just to see, like you just said, that winning basketball minutes and just momentum in general. Like you don't want to have just drafted them and kind of give up on them in their second year. It's like it don't make any sense. So yeah, I can feel it. I like I said, I liked it. But I did see, like I said, just from the Facebook group, some people say, Bogdan needs a few more minutes. And I was kind of looking to see where his minutes was. And he was behind Reddish, Hunter, and Hoarder in minutes, especially last night. But, like I said, overall,
that's surprising.
Yeah, I think he was like, Herder had 26. The other ones had like around like 30. So, I think he only had like 19, maybe 20, 21, somewhere in there. So, I was like, they can give him more minutes. I can see where they were talking about with that. But again, the development of the younger guys, all that's gonna come, I guess, later on down the road. Bogey's gonna get his time, his minutes, his shots up, and everything should start to gel a little bit more together. Real quick before we move on, though, there are a lot of guys that we do have hurt. I just said Gallo, whatever. We have seen him in like one or two games, but I know we still got Chris Dunn coming off surgery. Our first round pick. Anika, he still has yet to play. I think he's supposed to be coming maybe in a week or two. But out of the guys that still hurt, even Tony Snell, I don't know what he's going to bring us, but, he's still another piece, another wing guy that is kind of 3-and-D kind of guy. So out of the guys that are hurt, is there any, even Rondo you can include? I know we've seen him in one game, one sample size, but are there any of the hurt guys that you're more excited to see, and who do you think would be like an instant impact out of those injured guys?
I think Gallinari definitely coming off that bench because I think with DeAndre Hunter getting comfortable at the 3, you got to bring him off the bench now. But along with Bogdan, how he can get more shots up without having to worry about getting Cam or Trey shots. Definitely when Rondo coming, I think him and Rondo coming off the bench together is going to be crazy. But is Rondo hurt or is he just kind of not playing right now?
He missed for some COVID protocol.
I seen his girl slapped up somebody in the parking lot.
I know, right?
That sounded gangster. His brother was ready to fight in the bubble.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was hurt or he just not playing because it's like we're not gonna waste Rondo minutes right now.
Yeah,
so that makes sense.
Yeah, Gallinari though, I think he makes that second unit more dangerous. I kind of do think he's gonna come out the bench and be with the second unit. But I kind of look forward for Chris Dunn coming back just to add some more defense to the team. Just get it in against the other guards. So I think Chris Dunn is some valuable minutes for him. Him and Rondo, for sure.
Yeah. I can see it because I've been really waiting to see kind of how Chris Dunn kind of fits in. Like I said, that defensive presence overall, like, whether he is on their 2 guard or their ball handler. I just really kind of want to see what he's doing. But I'm pretty excited for the rookie as well. I know I've seen him tweet a few times, like he's ready to get out there. And, we can use a little bit more paint presence, I guess. Decent, but John sometimes lacks in that area. So
Yeah.
It'll definitely be cool to see him get in there, get some action in. But yeah, real quick, I guess we'll move on. Like I said, we did start out 4-0. We have slid losing 2 of our last 3 games. So what out of our 4 wins, what have you seen the Hawks done or do well?
Definitely shoot the ball well. Like when they're winning, like everybody's making shots. Deandre Hunter, John Collins, who's extending his range more to the wings now. Of course, Kevin Hoyter, the Red Torpedo, Bob Dunn, of course, Trey, Cam Reddish. When he's not airballing shots, he's usually making a good amount of shots. Like I say, Deandre Hunter. Hopefully, he continues that. But we've really been knocking down shots this year, like especially in our wins.
Yeah. And I say something that I've seen them do is just have I don't know, it's like the competitiveness of the team is up a little bit this year. Like they know that they're good. They're even probably a little better than we all thought they were gonna be. And I think that's been good for the team, to get some of those good wins. Like I said, the consistency just got to come to get up for the games against Cleveland and New York the same way as you do for Brooklyn or whatever. But overall, they've shown that they're going to be a team that can mess up somebody's playoff hopes this year. So that's definitely something I watch. The competitiveness of this team is definitely up. The vets are meshing with the young players really well.
Yeah. One guy, one actually about Solomon Hill. I've talked about him or tweeted about him, been thinking about him a little bit. I'm like, because I've been saying ever since we added him, I was like, why? Like,
why, right?
Yeah. I was like, when they first signed him, I was like, him and Tony Snell for sure. I was like, what? Like, why? Y'all just
feels like one of the players you need because you don't expect him to make every shot. He'll get knocked down a couple shots. And he just give good lead. He's got good leadership. Don't keep air especially with DeAndre Harden and Cam, he gonna keep them in good positions to succeed.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy. I was like, we signed who? Why?
He's just another vet guy.
He's been cool. He's been nice.
And he's been look Gallinari out. He gives those good 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was like, Solomon Hill has been one that's been impressive because I didn't even realize he's only 29 years old. I thought he was like 35, 36. Maybe 37. I was like, I feel like I've heard his name so long, so many years. But he's not even that old. Like I said, 29 or 30. And like his veteran leadership, like when he gets out there, when I'm seeing him out there, every time they pan the camera to him, he's directing, he's telling them what to do. He has timely shots as well. So yeah, he's been a really nice piece, and that's probably the most exciting. Well, until Rondo and all the other guys get back into the fold, and we get further on into the season where they get important minutes, he's actually been a surprise for me. I was not expecting this type of play, I guess, leadership from Solomon Hill. I was like, we must just be taking on money because we just can or something. I don't even know. So it's been really cool to see him out there and playing. But I guess what kind of prompted this episode as well. We'll move on to we talked about the wins, of course, what they've done well, mainly shooting, putting up offense, 141 points, even in a loss. That's ridiculous. That's crazy to see. But we've also seen these last 2 games that their offense fizzles out, and we talked about that in our pre-show, that there's going to be times where their offense isn't going to be there. They're going to have to pick that up in other ways and defensively, but they haven't really been able to do that, losing 15-point leads. So what have you seen, I guess, in these Hawks losses, and what do you think they must do to fix these little blunders at the end of the games?
The 2 things I see the most I think is obvious, and people kind of said it was going to be a thing coming to the year, just getting better defensively. I think more time together, they get rhythm with each other, and just learn better defensive principles and rotations. When you get these new teams together, especially with some young mixed with the vets, they usually either really good on offense and bad on defense, or they're bad on offense and really good on defenses. They typically one takes time to catch up with the other one. So I think the Hawks are offensively, like I said, I think we have the best offense in the NBA right now. I'm not just saying as an opinion. I think that's like
points per game type. I think
we're up there. So the defense just has to catch up. And we have the players for it, honestly, because Hunter and Reddish show all NBA potential. Capella is a good rim protector. John can be good defending his position, and then we just got some other players that's coming that'll help. So I think defensively, and I think which I've seen Trey do a good job this year of distributing a little more, which his assists are always high. They're a little bit lower this year, but I just think with the team being a little bit more talented, just finding a few more shots for a few other players. Just a couple more shots, I would say. Like, I looked at the game last night, and I thought Hunter should have had a few more shots, and I thought John Collins could have got a couple more shots. But just Trey continue to grow into that role of getting everybody involved, which he doesn't do a bad job of at all. Like, he averaged 9 assists last year. He's at about 7 now. But I don't see why he can't be at 9 again or 10. Yeah, he will. I don't doubt that at all. It's not an issue, just something I noticed.
Definitely the defense, and more importantly, the team defense. Because right now, they're really the only 2 real perimeter defenders they have is Cam and Deandre Hunter. So when they're, like I said, they basically locked down KD and Kyrie the other night in the win against Brooklyn. But it's like when you can get one, you can get them off whoever your primary scorer is, whether that's RJ Barrett for the Knicks or Colin Sexton for the Cleveland Cavaliers. The offense can kind of open up for the opposing team. I think just figuring out how to win, they are a young team and they do got a couple vets, but even a lot of those vets outside of Rondo, Gallinari's been to the playoffs here and there. Bogey, even though he's an older player, he's a younger player.
Right.
So they still don't have vets who's necessarily been to that next level. So just trying to figure out how to win, and Lloyd Pierce just put him in position to win, honestly. Like, see what he can figure out on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. I was like, overall, like, we know, obviously, like, the easy answer, of course, it would be, like you said, fix these losses is the defense, because, giving up 15-plus points would have, lead in, mid-third quarter going into the fourth or whatever, not really, acceptable, of course. So do you think, is there something specific do y'all think that they, like, either the coaching staff or the players, just taking it upon themselves, can fix that? We know it's a defensive issue, but is there something specifically on the defensive end, like, that they can fix? Or is it, you think, like, it's kind of like a mix of these teams are just kind of like starting to find a rhythm? They see that we're like a little vulnerable because we're letting them back into the game, so they just, that offense takes off? Or is it like literally they're just not doing enough on defense? Because, like you said, like, it's really the perimeter guys, Reddish and Hunter, they're doing a decent job, but I feel like a lot of times interior defense,
I'd say back to your point earlier, John Collins, who, when he wants to defend, John Collins is a really good defender. But when he's kind of just not into it and he kind of gets into it, the ref, he picks up a couple fouls here or there. He kind of stops giving that extra effort that you need on defense, especially when you're trying to close out a game in the second half. So I think if John Collins can stay good consistently defensively, that'll help out a lot. Because, like I said, it's not the perimeter at this point; it is the interior.
Now I think it's the interior. Getting our rookie in, I think he'll help defensively with the interior a little more. John Collins staying locked in defensively, and the same with Capella too, because he could be a good rim protector, but he can get disinterested at times also. But as long as those guys sure it up a little bit, and I think with time they'll get better. Like, offense is easy for them to be good because they got so many versatile offensive players, and they all could shoot. So it's not like you're just trying to mix in playmakers or whatever. They added shooters to the team. So it was natural for me for the offense to get better. I thought the defense would take a second. So I don't really think it's necessarily a player issue. Just timing and getting that interior better, which I think could get better once the rookie is out there. Honestly, I think he'll really help that.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I said, that's why I'm excited to see him come back in the fold. Hopefully, like I said, I don't know if it's a week, 2 weeks, whatever timetable may be, but should be soon. I don't know if there's one that's worse than the other, but if you could, or if there is anything that's alarming out of the two, I know we have 3, but obviously the 2 losses that we just took, one to Cleveland, one to the Knicks. Is there something within those losses that may be a little bit concerning, or is one loss worse than the other to one of you guys in your opinion?
Honestly, I guess just the easy road again defensively. Like I said, Julius Randle was just kind of getting what he wanted against John Collins or whoever was guarding him.
Yeah.
We all know Julius Randle get that extra effort already.
Right.
If you disinterested and kind of not locked in, he's gonna get a near triple double on you every night.
Yeah.
So definitely defensively, and I guess Lloyd Pierce got to get John Collins to stay away from the refs sometimes because John Collins just kind of goes at it when he's not having his way. He kind of just stays in the ref area a bit too much, and that get him out of his game.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not too alarmed. I know you see we lose to the Knicks in Cleveland, and you think, oh,
that's why I'm like, is there one that's a little bit more like, whoa? And then it's back to back too. It's like, whoa, what are y'all doing?
Like, what's going on? The only thing I would say is, you definitely want them to get up for those games the same way they're going to challenge Brooklyn, obviously, which is something you got to teach a younger team. But I think the Knicks and Cleveland, they aren't as bad as they were last year either. They're both over 500 right now. Yeah. So I don't think, and you want to see them close out those games. Obviously, they had leads in both games. So obviously that's something that needs to be changed or whatever. But I just think it's, just early season, you drop some of those games, you watch the film and you get better. But we know the defense is an issue, but I didn't see anything in the games like, man, they need to fix that right now or their season is going to be terrible. I think that, you just got to be focused in those games the same way you are as playing the championship contending teams.
Yeah.
And that's a problem with all young teams. If you look back at the last few years of the league, young teams give up those kind of leads or whatever. And it's early in the season too, where, the game has been all over the place. There's been a lot of blowouts and a lot of rusty basketball or inconsistent balls. So obviously I do think the defense needs to get better, but I'm not too alarmed by anything in those losses. Nothing that's just like, oh God, we need to fix this now.
Yeah,
are actually better to me than I thought they were going to be. And I thought we were going to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Better than I thought they were. So.
Yeah, I think for me too. Yeah, a lot of us was like, it's kind of not playoff or bust, but it's kind of like, yeah, we should be taking that next step. We talked about it before. Like we see ourselves at least 6 seed.
Right.
And the way the NBA is going, we'll talk about it a little bit towards the end of the show, but it could be as high 5th, maybe even 4th. We can push some of those, those spots, especially if we get everybody back and we get them back healthy, and everybody clicking on all cylinders. The sky's kind of limit for these guys because the shot making, we kind of knew like we get more offense in, but the shot making specifically is what's I think it surprised all of us to see like we can put up 141 points in a loss. That's crazy. But then again, like
overtime, that wasn't overtime game.
Yeah, in regulation, that's ridiculous. But of course, we're playing two guys that can get 40 at a drop of a dime as well. So, but then also seeing like we can kind of fizzle out as well. We'll find that consistency at some point. But like I said, I wanted to talk about the overall NBA aspect with you guys, but we'll do that towards the end of the show. The one thing. I guess not really a big topic, but the last thing I kind of wanted to hit on with the Hawks, because like I told y'all before the show, saw some people talking about it. We talked about him a little bit earlier, Cam Reddish. There's some people, calling him a bust already. What do you guys kind of, feel about that and him giving him that label?
That kind of lingered a little bit from last year. This is my only thing about Cam because I really like Cam, but I do kind of have a love-hate relationship with him at times because I think he still has so much more to give offensively. And I think he's going through a few years of honestly trying to find himself and maybe questioning, not necessarily questioning his skills. I hate to try to get in people's minds, but they're trying to find himself because, he went into Duke as one of the best players in the country and was and quickly made the third option on that team, which he had to give up the most of his game. And then you come into your rookie year in the NBA and even though a lot of players still picked him as the rookie of the year, he struggled offensively, obviously. Like it's not crazy to say that. But defensively, he's been so good that it's like we're just gonna let his offense catch up. So I can't say that he's a bust so early for a couple of reasons. For one, he still plays meaningful minutes because defensively he does have an impact. And he does have those offensive outbursts, here or there where he has good scoring games or good shooting games or whatever. So I couldn't call him a bust. And then Cam went 8 in the draft.
Yeah.
So it's not, in the top 10, I expect, for me personally, when I look at players going to the top 10, I want like a consistent starter, maybe borderline all-star, whatever. Top 5, I want you to be an all-star.
Mhm.
But just going at his slot at 8, I think he still has time to grow. He's not being benched. He just offensively just moves too fast at times. But to call him a bust already is crazy, just considering he does still play high level minutes, and the Hawks aren't terrible. So it's not like he's out there because who else is going to be out there? They don't have to play him out there. They're good this year and they plan on being good. So I wouldn't say he'll bust. I just think his offense just needs to continue to get better.
Yeah, it's definitely we're barely at 7 games into his second year two. Like, to be labeled him a bust already is like wow, why would you give up on a player this early? Like, especially say we've lost the last 3, but we're still playing good basketball. He does play good defense.
Right.
Like, say that the second Brooklyn game, he barely allowed Kevin Durant to get a shot up. His offense does come and go. I know he's had a couple 20-point games in the first 7 games. It was like when he does play good, he knocks down shots to get to the basket. But it is a thing, and sometimes he's either rushing it or he doesn't make that. He just kind of, I seen one time he did kind of just lose the ball on a fast break. Somebody just swiped it from him because he called the easy layup.
Yeah.
That's second-year problems. Like, just going to happen. As long as he stay focused offensively, because his defense is going to keep him in the game. It's just getting his offense to catch up, honestly.
And the Hawks have other players at his position, though. So, like I say, it's not like they're like, we got to get Cam out there. Maybe last year when you weren't good, but, and even last year they could have pulled him a lot more playing with Kevin Huerter. But you bring in Bogdanovich, Kevin Huerter's been playing well this year. That's reason for Cam's minutes to go down, but they aren't, because he truly isn't an issue. It's just his offense has to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I saw that, and it was I didn't even go too far down the rabbit hole of the thread, but there was, the person that made the post was talking about he was being a bust, and then there's people agreeing, disagreeing, and all that, but kind of like y'all spoke to pretty much both y'all points. Like, he immediately went from number 1 option, I think he was player of the year or whatever in the state, to literally 3rd option on the team. Like, not even like we could automatically, we already knew Zion was the first, and RJ had so much, hype around him. We knew immediately 3rd option. And, he struggled a little bit at Duke, came in, struggled a little bit, with us in his first year. But keep in mind, like, he hasn't even played a full 82 games. Like, he hasn't had a full season under his belt. Like, everything got cut short, and it got cut short when his offense was coming along. Like, after All-Star break, we talked about it before, that's when he started to take off. And I seen a graphic earlier. I wish I had put it up, or saved it and put it up. But each and every month, even last year, even though he struggled so much, his shooting steadily got better each and every month. So, they're starting a little late this year, of course. First 7 games in, like, this is the first month, or sort of kind of the first month, because they started late December. So, like, it's gonna start to get there. I feel like they're just getting their legs back under them. It's just gonna take them a little bit more time. To get back in the rhythm. I know they had a little bit longer of extended off season or whatever, but they really had the same time, like training camp and all that, as pretty much all these other teams, starting around the same time. So I feel like, it's a little crazy to be calling people a bust, like not even 3 years into their career, like not having full seasons under their belt. Like, I guess, we're in such a age where people expect results like immediately. Like, if you ain't balling out like Trey or Luka did their first 2-3 weeks of the season or games of the season, then you're automatically you're a bust. We need to sit you. You don't need to be playing or whatever. But like I've been saying, his defense is gonna keep him out there because he plays solid defense. He plays hard defense, and he typically, whoever the guy is guarding, sometimes when they, like you said, have to hide Trey, put him on the ball. He's solid, makes them give up on everything. So he's I'm really high on him as well. Like, I don't like, I said it before our first episode, I don't like Duke. I don't really like Duke players, but when we drafted him, I was like, he's gonna be big for us. He should be able to develop, hopefully under Laura Pearson, get more confidence just being, in the NBA game. So I think it'll eventually come along. Like I said, that graphic kind of should put people mind at ease. Like, it's 7 games, like barely 2-3 weeks.
Right.
Give him some time. Like let him get a full 82 games under his belt before you can even slightly judge him at all. So
Yeah.
So it's just people today now, society or whatever. But I don't think he's gonna be a bust. I think he'll come along just like we see this spark from Hunter. We'll probably see the spark from Reddish, in a few weeks as well. So.
That's right.
Yeah.
But of course, like I said, it is a Hawk show. But I want to get you guys to take overall in the NBA. Everything that you've seen. I know we've caught a few games. I know you guys do your Hooper of the Night as well. So just initial thoughts on the NBA as a whole, on the best game you've seen so far, best player you've seen so far. Then we'll kind of get into me, Chris, and Mo did who's the most surprising teams or most surprising players. We could do that as well, but just start off thoughts on the NBA as a whole so far.
Yeah, a lot of blowouts so far. It's been some rusty basketball, but it's been some good basketball as well. And overall, I've been just happy to watch the 76ers and the Hawks both.
I said that as well.
Yeah, those are both of my two squads. So I like what I see out of both of those teams. The best game I've seen, no bias, just because it's a Hawks show, but the Hawks Brooklyn game was really good.
Yeah,
there was some back and forth there. The Hawks showed some poise in that fourth quarter, playing against this team, but not being afraid of them. KD and Kyrie looked primed and ready to go. That's been the best game I've watched so far. But I really like the Hawks so far. Really like Philly so far.
Mm-hmm.
Been the blowouts have been crazy. I think two teams have been beat by 50.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of 20, 30-point games.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's been kind of all over the place just as far as people getting back in. You can definitely tell some teams had longer layoffs than others.
Yeah.
You can see some of the people that took advantage of the layoff. The boys that did it.
Exactly.
Overall, this been probably as close to a good a start as the NBA could have wanted, or in fans, honestly, outside of the blowouts.
Yeah.
And some of the inconsistent offense. I'm really impressed with Jaylen Brown, who is the Jaylen Brown fan club over here. And it helps that he's from Metro Atlanta as well.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah. But Jaylen Brown has been impressive. The Nuggets have kind of surprised me. They've been a little sluggish. Like they started off last year kind of slow too, but it's like they've been real sluggish. I know Michael Porter James started off with a 30-point game. James Harden, even with a little bit of that extra strip club weight on him, he's still averaging 37 right now.
Yeah, still leading spot.
And best game I've seen so far, I gotta go with Steph. You don't just drop 60. You don't just drop 60.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? You just not get talked about. Like
Exactly.
they haven't been talked about him because that's not what they wanted to see. They kind of want to see him struggle this year. But it's like you get dropped 62, and it's like everybody kind of leave you alone for a week now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we talked about, like I said, a little bit with Chris and Mo about these like slow starts and kind of like what we I guess gave the reason for why these slow starts have came. Like I said, I don't know, like certain teams like getting blown out by 50 in the NBA. That's a little absurd to me, especially one of the teams being supposed to be a title favorite or a Western Conference title favorite or something. Like there's no way one player should equivalent a 50-point loss in my opinion.
That Clippers game, they were down 77-27 at halftime. I follow I think it's Stat Muse on Twitter, and it said even with the points that the Clippers scored in the second half, if Dallas didn't score, they still would have won the game. That's insane, bro. Like, come on.
I've never. That's probably the most insane stat I've ever heard in my entire life right now. Like that, because like that was, I think that was a Sunday, so like football was on, and that was like the main focus.
That loss was kind of, that game. They got destroyed. Yeah, they got destroyed.
They lucky they got that kind of got shadowed, like overlooked a little bit. Like really should have got some more attention. Like if that was like a TNT, even ESPN like Wednesday type game,
they would have got killed for that one.
Killed because I was like, I checked it. I didn't even know they was playing, but I checked. I was like, hold on, I know I'm seeing something wrong. Like because at that point it was like 50 something to like they was still in like they had barely just crossed over into the teens. I think it was like 15, something like that, 16. I was like, yeah, no, this can't be right. But
That's
lo
crazy.
and behold, 77-27. I was like, that is ridiculous.
That's insane. Like, and it wasn't even like it was like a crazy night from Luka or anything like that. They
He
just
got
got
beat.
destroyed.
Mhm. So
And then turn around, you see the Bucks blow out, get blown out by the Knicks.
yeah,
It's like, wow, what is going on in the NBA?
yeah.
So
And that's the one I was just about to kind of. I don't know if the Knicks is going to be your answer choice, but I want to segue into that. Like, what team has surprised you the most? I know you guys have said, like, obviously some teams have kind of taken advantage of that longer layoff. You know, they're coming out the gates playing a little bit better ball than other teams that may have just came out of the bubble or whatever. But is there any surprise teams that you've seen so far, and just like, you know, what they've put together in these first 7 games or 8 games?
Cleveland Cavaliers. They're 4-3 right now. Andre Drummond and Colin Sexton has been playing great. I think they made the decision to, from what I haven't watched all their games, but from what I saw, like Garland is more handling the ball and Colin is a little more off the ball, which just lets him be a scorer. I didn't expect Cleveland to be. I didn't know what to expect from Cleveland this year, but I didn't expect but I didn't expect them to be 500 playing pretty decent basketball right now. So Cleveland has been a shock for me, and just as far as a player, I guess it shouldn't have been too much of a shock, but I've been just surprised at how good Christian Wood has been for the Rockets. He's like 23-10 right now. So Christian Wood has been really good on the steel contract. It's looking like for them. So Cleveland and Christian.
Yeah.
I can't really think of any team. I guess maybe Phoenix because they look real good.
5-2.
Yeah, they're competing down in close games. We thank Chris Paul for that. Devin Booker's again another year taking another step where he's taking better shots and smarter shots. Mikal Bridges is looking like a future 3-and-D, like all defensive player year in year out. Like was the clip of when they playing the Clippers the other night, he had Paul George could barely dribble against him.
Yeah.
Definitely Phoenix and Mikal Bridges. John Wall, I'm happy he's healthy. Like he looks healthy. He's moving healthy.
Right.
He said that he's the best shot blocking point guard in NBA history the other day, and I agree with that.
Guard? Nah,
point guard.
Nah, that's fair. That's fair.
John Wall just looks healthy, which is good. Other than that, I guess just those teams. LaMelo Ball's been better than I thought he was going to be. Yeah. He's really cleaned up his shooting form. Like, he doesn't shoot like a child anymore. He shoots like an adult for the most part. But yeah, definitely Phoenix, Mikal Bridges, and LaMelo Ball.
Yeah. Okay, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, LaMelo, he just had that one-off game, but other than that, he's been stellar. Yeah, even in that one-off game, he had some nice dishes. Nice, we always know we're gonna get him get a highlight pass out of him.
Get like 2 of those out of him.
Yep. So I like to see his growth and development as well. I think he's my. I think I was about to say he's my favorite ball player. I'm still kind of high on Lonzo. I feel like he's he's done decent this well, especially coming off the bench. But he like you just said, he had to clean up his shot. Lonzo cleaned up his shot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know kind of what Leandro's shot looks like right now because we ain't seen him in the league. But hopefully one day he's able to make an appearance. He has a nice decent shot as well. But it's cool for them two brothers at least to be in the league playing alongside.
Right.
But real quick, I guess before I end off this show with I asked you guys in the pre episode, who's the biggest threats in the East. I know it's only 7 games in, but we'll just talk about, I guess, some of the teams that look prime for a championship in the East. But before that, we somebody mentioned it. One of y'all mentioned Christian Wood and the deal he's on. I know, like I said, me, Mo, and Chris talked about it a little bit before. What I guess. Like, do you think that's probably going to be one of the steal of the free agency this year? And also, like, where do you kind of see, like, his ceiling being? Or do you think he's at it? Or you think he's, can exceed it? Because I guess the type of player, I know I seen him last year. First time I heard anything about him really was when he was with the Pistons last year. And we played him, like, twice, and he was destroying us.
Crazy.
Like, what's going on?
Like, who is it?
Exactly. So, Like, obviously, it wasn't a player that we really needed. Obviously, we had John and Clint, but one, like I said, I guess it's kind of like 3 questions in one. But do you think he's going to be the steal of this past free agency draft? Do you think he has another, level to go? And do you also think, like, would he be someone that you would have been interested in bringing on to the Hawks this past season if we didn't have like a John or a Clint?
I honestly do think he's a steal of free agent. I think he's 3 years, $41 million. We was talking about Christian a few days ago, and I was just like, because he's played for 6 teams, so I was like, how did so many teams miss out on him? So I did a little just research on his history, and I saw like he started with Philly in those early process days. So when they weren't trying to win, so they were getting rid of players. And then I saw that he played with the Pelicans real briefly, but in the minutes per game that he got for them, he averaged about 16 a game with them. So I don't know why the Pelicans didn't keep him.
Exactly.
I can't remember the season, but he had in about 20 minutes a game, he was averaging about 21 minutes a game. And then he goes on to the next year, and then he gets with Detroit. So I think he honestly has all-star potential. He's a perfect modern day center. He's so aggressive with how he plays in the post. I saw him make some plays the other day, and I thought he was just gonna go for a layup, and he dunked on like 3 players. It was crazy. And I don't know how he would have fit with John Collins, but I definitely think him and Trey would have been perfect for each other, even more perfect than him and Clint Capella. So I would have actually liked the Hawks maybe try to pursue him, especially because we haven't locked down John yet to a deal. But he's been one of those interesting dudes where it's like the more minutes he got, the better he's played. But just when I saw that he played for 6 teams, and he's pretty young. I think he's maybe about 24, 25. He can't be too much older than that. I was just shocked that he moved around, but I see where it started, being on that process Philly team. I think 15, 16, that would have been Jahlil Okafor, right? So it would have been Embiid, Jahlil Okafor, Christian Wood, and Nerlens Noel all on the same team. So I can see how you get lost in the sauce. But like I say, after he had a little break with New Orleans, I'm surprised more teams didn't jump on him or whatever. But I definitely think he has some all-star potential, even in the West where it's hard to get those forward spots. I think he has some all-star potential, and he definitely is the steal this year for me. Only $40 million for 3 years for him. He could have got a little more than that, I think.
Right now for Houston.
Definitely first steal of the draft. Like I said, that contract and his production right now. He's going out. I think he's going to outplay that contract before this year is over with. And they're gonna have to extend him eventually.
Yeah.
If we didn't have, I would say if we didn't have John, but still had Clint, I would bring him in because you kind of getting the same thing out of him. But I don't know if I would want him with John. But he definitely has. I think he has all NBA, maybe once or twice in his career. Like say 20 minutes, averaging 16 points. That's like you don't beat that kind of production, and like I said, that's only you give him more minutes, all the numbers are going to go up. So I think we can get to about that 24 points, 12 rebounds number because he's a pretty good shooter for a position as well. So definitely still in the draft. I would like him, but
not the draft, but off season.
The off season, everything was back to back. But definitely still on the off season. I would like him, but I'm cool with having Clint Capella and John Collins.
A weird comparison for him. For me, he kind of just reminds me, not necessarily in the game, but I guess just the impact and how he came. He's like Jermaine O'Neal to me out there. Jermaine with Indiana, how he was all NBA and he had a solid elbow shot, and he had a good post game. He's kind of like him to
That's
me.
a good one.
Yeah,
that was a good comparison.
I think him and DeMarcus Cousins is a good 1-2.
I'll say good 5-4 combination as well.
Yeah, sure.
That's the shot blocker that DeMarcus Cousins kind of always needed on defense. But then DeMarcus Cousins clear out and help him get rebounds, and DeMarcus Cousins being a good passer, he can feed him the ball in the post as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Exactly.
I think that's probably that's probably as good as a team that Houston could have put together for James Harden on kind of a short off season, honestly.
Houston went through so much stuff during the off season, like their team was actually pretty solid.
Really solid. And I was gonna say right before we moved on to, I guess, the biggest threats in the East, do y'all think Harden's kind of calming down a little bit? You think he wants to stay in Houston, or do you think he's still kind of on the train? He wants to get out. Nets, Philly, Miami.
I think he's still one out.
Yeah,
I think he's still one out. Yeah, I think he's still trying to go.
Yeah.
Which destination you think he's trying to get to most, or which one do you think he fits at better?
See, I know Brooklyn wish they had him now. They just lost Dinwiddie for the
Yeah.
That's weird. I actually really like him going to Milwaukee. I actually said last year when him and Giannis was going through their little back and forth beef, I was like, they really kind of need each other, so they need to get along. But I like him going to the Bucks. I just don't see how the Bucks make it happen with all the picks they gave up for Drew.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I think he'd be good with the Bucks. The Heat sound good, but I don't think he fit the Heat culture. It's so strict, and like LeBron, as strict as LeBron is, he didn't even like it. Not that he didn't like it, but even the Heat culture wasn't for LeBron. So I'm like, what are they gonna do to James Harden?
Yeah.
So I like him with the Bucks.
Yeah. Honestly, I think he definitely does want to still leave. I don't know where he fits in at.
Yeah, it's so hard to think where he could.
Like you say, okay, yeah, he go to Brooklyn, but it's like even with like how does he fit in Brooklyn?
I think him and Kyrie is a bad fit.
Yeah,
especially watching how Brooklyn plays this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think him and Kyrie works together.
The
Warriors.
Yeah, yes and no, because he kind of be like Steph has never played with a player that could get him the ball like open looks like that. Honestly, like I know it's weird, but that would work.
I can see
not giving up Wiseman now. It was all around Wiseman.
Oh yeah, they definitely not giving up Wiseman.
Wiggins have looked garbage. So
yeah, it's like Wiggins.
Apparently, Portland has the most strip clubs per capita, so
I like him in Portland.
Maybe,
so I like that too.
Maybe he, would like to find a home in Portland.
I've been hearing McCollum is in trade discussions.
Yeah,
obviously that's not going to be not just him, but
Nah, yeah, definitely. And we get a team in Vegas before it's too late. Maybe he just go to that team.
Like Vegas in the expansion draft.
Yeah, he just retired that
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, it's hard to kind of see where he fits. I did like that Golden State, suggestion that you just threw out there for us. But real quick, we'll end it off. We talked about, like I said, a little bit in the pre-season episode, the biggest threats to the Hawks in the East and kind of where we'll fall. Still only 7 games in, but who have you liked in the East, and who do you think is the biggest threats in the East? Either who do you think the Hawks are the biggest threats to, maybe like y'all said earlier, upset somebody in the first, second round, or who's the biggest threats in the East to the Hawks at the moment?
The biggest threat for me is the team, the Hawks. They got a back-to-back against Charlotte, and then they play the 76ers. They're going to be the biggest threat in the East. The 76ers and I would say Brooklyn down the line. Yeah. The Hawks, to me, are the biggest threat to teams like Toronto.
Yeah.
To knock them out, steal their playoff position.
Boston.
And I was going to say Boston. They played Boston in the playoffs. For some reason, I can see the Hawks.
Because they kind of built similar, except they have the big man that Boston wish they did.
Yeah.
So definitely Boston, Toronto.
Tyus ain't going to get it.
Miami, because I just think our wings are going to be just so physical towards Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero. It's going to be hard for them to get a shot off, honestly.
Right.
Biggest threats, of course, Milwaukee still, because we don't have an answer for Giannis right now.
Yeah.
No. I know we did beat him in the second half of the back-to-back, but Brooklyn, of course, because you never know, KD and Kyrie might decide to go for 80 together one night, on 90, 50, 40, 90, 60, 70. Other than that, I think the East is still wide open, though. I think some teams that are struggling that might pick it up. Orlando is like in 4th or 5th place right now. I don't know if they're going to hold on to that, but they could.
Right.
But yeah, the East is still wide open outside of Brooklyn and Milwaukee, honestly. So the Hawks could slip in the 3rd or 4th right now.
You got to put Philly up there.
Oh yeah, my bad. I forgot Philly. You're right. I forgot about Philly. They do have best record in the league right now. Their offense looks great again because they got shooters and spacing out there. So yeah, my bad. I forgot Philly. And Philly had with Ben Simmons being able to guard Trey, Cam, or DeAndre Hunter or John Collins. They're gonna have some problems there.
The Hawks historically play as Philly well, though. If you go back and look the last couple of years, even when Philly was good, and that's always one game, especially like being a Philly fan and being here in Atlanta, being a Hawks fan. That's the game. If I don't go to any game throughout the year, I always go to the Philly game. I try to, and the Hawks always somehow steals the game from Philly, and I'm always happy. But then I'm always like, how did we lose to the Hawks this year? So it'd be like a love-hate thing. The Hawks always play the 76ers well.
Yeah, especially I think last year I think they stole 2 games from them last year.
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah,
So
like you said, that Ben Simmons thing is kind of scary. Like you said, he can guard literally probably R1 through 5. I won't say clean. He can guard R1 through 4, probably easily. So, but like you said, I said it on the show when I was talking to Mo and Chris that I really like the way Philly's playing because they just surrounded their guys with shooters, and that's all they needed from really the beginning. Danny Green got to pick it up a little bit,
Right.
But Seth is coming into his own.
21 right now.
Seth,
yeah.
I think he's shooting like 50.
Yeah, he's officially
the
best 3-point shooter in NBA history. He's officially the best 3-point field goal percentage in NBA history. So that helps.
Yep. And even Shake Milton, he wasn't just a fluke of games last year that he was putting together
right now.
So yeah, overall the whole team is balling. So I really like the way 76 is playing. But I guess that does it for our show today. I guess any closing statements or thoughts about the Hawks before we move on into next week and these next slate of games that they're about to have to go through.
Every week Trey's gonna build up his MVP case this year.
Oh, you say Trey for MVP this year?
30 again. The Hawks will finish in the top 4. He can win MVP. He got 30-8, and you finish top 4. You got to get some consideration.
Okay, sir. I got Cam Reddish all defense this year, first team.
First team,
yeah. Okay. I think Deandre Harden gonna get second team because they go split votes.
Yeah,
but I think we're gonna have 2 all defensive players this year.
They're good.
We might have 2 all stars with John Collins as well.
If good enough, yeah, for sure.
I guess it's just we gotta start back winning. We gotta get that, We should. I'm pretty sure we will have a winning record by All-Star Weekend or whatever. Close to.
It's ain't gonna be an All-Star game this year. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, but All-Star Weekend though.
Yeah, still All-Star Weekend.
We still gonna have All-Star.
We still gonna have
the players.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, but we got some winnable games coming up. We got Charlotte back-to-back. Then the 76ers is going to be a tough one, but I'm sure they're going to get up for the 76ers game. It's just don't drop neither one of the Charlotte games, and we're good.
Yeah, that's all. Okay, yeah, I was about to say we can touch on that before we head out. Yeah, the Charlotte games back-to-back. Because I know the back-to-backs this year have been same place versus traveling. So both of them. I think we're on homestand. Are both of them home or are they both away?
We at home the first one, then go to Charlotte.
Okay, so this one's different. Yeah. So I was like, this one's Charlotte, Atlanta versus Brooklyn, Atlanta. So makes sense. Yeah.
That's gonna be just don't drop those games. I think we should beat Charlotte both games, even though Charlotte is a little better than they've shown, but the Hawks shouldn't lose to them.
No, yeah, I agree with that one.
Yeah. Appreciate you again, you guys. Appreciate it. Another episode, second episode of Atlanta Hawks Fly Through. Of course, you guys got your guys' pod. You guys come on in the morning, but of course, you want to plug away and then let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, for sure. So appreciate you having us for sure. Always more of these this season, and it's good that the Hawks are good, so it makes it. Right. We don't gotta come in here and be like, man, this happened this week, and this week can come on here and everybody can smile and it's fun. But catch us Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, the Hoopers Morning Run on the Off the Ball Network's Facebook page. You can find us on Twitter at
the Hoopers Pod.
There you go. And then you can find us anywhere podcasts are available: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Just search the Hoopers Pod. And what's the Instagram?
_Hoopers IG.
And that's where you can find us at.
Yeah. Definitely check out these guys' content. They put out Hoopers of the Night every night, and they always hit. Never wrong answer what you got. Yeah, like I saw the other night, Steph. You said, "This is a Steph point. Stop playing around. Let's go ahead and just throw Steph."
Baby, go play.
Ain't nobody else in consideration for the night. I don't care who scored what. That's 62 on Dame and CJ's head. Got to. So.
And I can say what we try to do with the Hooper of the night, it's gonna go to who had the best statistical night, but you will see some different names because we just try to spread it out. I think so far this year, Hooper of the night has gone to like Chris Middleton, Deandre Hunter has gotten it, Kyle Anderson has gotten it. So it's not just gonna be Julie. It's not just gonna be like LeBron tonight, KD tonight, Kawhi the next night. We're gonna like anybody can be the Hooper that night. It could be your day. You know what I mean? So I think DeAndre Hunter won it over a couple good players, but he was 8 of 9 from the field, 20 points. So if you have a good night, we genuinely gonna spread that thing out. It ain't gonna just go to the same names.
Exactly. That's what I love about when I seen DeAndre. I was like, I feel like like you say he deserves like 8 and 9 is hell of efficient. Like, and then still put up what 20? It was like 22, 23.
Right, yeah.
So that's what I love about it. Like I said, thank you guys again. Appreciate for coming on. Of course, we'll be doing more of these throughout the year. Probably try to do one each and every week, like you said. Luckily, they're good, so I don't have to come on here and be upset like I am with my Falcons. So yeah, but everybody already knows. Thanks to Off the Ball Network. Shout out to those guys over there. Chris, I'll have your TikTok in a second. Know where to find this pod as well. Twitter at What the Game Means to Me. WTG MTM podcast, Instagram What the Game Means to Me, and Facebook What the Game Means to Me as well. So that'll do it for our show tonight. Good luck, Hawks, in these next 3 games before we come back on next week. And appreciate you guys again. Now we'll catch you in the morning for the Hoopers run.
All right, appreciate it, bro.
Good one.